Welcome, everybody, to WTR WrestleTalk Radio. This is the show that brings to you the highlights from all things wrestling and sports entertainment. From WWE to TNA, NXT, ROH, and so much more, WTR is here to focus on what makes wrestling so damn entertaining and fun to watch. We are live from Studio 1 of the WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. This is WTR WrestleTalk Radio.
And we're live. 10 minutes early. That's better than 7 o'clock, right, Bill?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, welcome. This is the long overdue, long awaited episode 24. We're on 24, man.
About time.
So episode 24, WTR WrestleTalk Radio. I'm Big Nick Hold. Sorry, the mic keeps blocking me. I'm trying to figure out a way we can actually get this put through so I can see my face more, because this is mics we got talking to. But next to me, Mr. Wild Bill.
Hello, everyone.
This is the man who said that Ric Flair can make a great match with the broomstick.
Yes, sir, and he always can and always will.
He sure will. How does he look, man?
Not so good.
He lost a lot of weight.
It's better than being dead.
No, I know, definitely. I'm just glad he's okay, and at least he's out and about.
Yep, he's doing his publicity still.
Yeah, but at least he's healthy, and we didn't lose him. But in any case, before we get into it, guys, chat room has been figured out. So we do have the chat room up and live. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, you guys can. It should be working. I'm hoping you guys have the volume on, which volumes are on, and video is good to go so you can see us. Podcast will be posted on our social media soon after we record this. We got a lot of stuff on our plate tonight for the 24th episode. Levi will be coming aboard soon. We'll be having Levi on probably next week or the week after that. So we'll see what happens there. But as always, got to go over through social media. So social media, guys, obviously follow us on Twitter at WCSN312. We changed it up a little bit. It used to be WCSN3, changed it so it's at WCSN312. You can like us on Facebook at our Facebook page, Windy City One Word Sports Network. We will be posting all of our stuff on that, so you guys can catch us on our social media. Where can you guys hear us? SoundCloud's our original station. They distribute everything for us, so you can go through SoundCloud. iTunes is the most important. Subscribe to us. Give us 5 stars. We're trying to get it to top 100 podcast, so we can do it with you guys. So we need your help on that. We're on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Overcast Radio. Google Play is the new one that just joined the family. Podbean's the other big one. All available on Android, iOS, iPad computers, and you guys can listen to us all the time on that. And then obviously in our social media, where you guys can see Facebook and Twitter. And obviously the new one is right here on YouTube. So we're live on YouTube, and we'll be doing these. We might change the dates up. Might be every Tuesday, might be every Wednesday, might be every other Wednesday. So, but lo and behold, we should be doing at least a weekly to at least bi-weekly show of WTR WrestleTalk Radio, so we can get back into it, because we got a lot to cover today, and WrestleMania season's like right down the block. So, Elimination Chamber first, right?
Elimination Chamber first, then Mania.
So, all right, so we're going to dive right into it, because we do have a lot. I do want to talk first about RAW25 first, before we start getting into TakeOver and then the Royal Rumble and stuff. What are your thoughts, Bill, on that, on RAW25?
For such a big occasion, I think 90% of the people would say that other than the first 10 minutes with the Stone Cold action, the rest of the event was very lackluster. It was bad, but it needed to be done.
He didn't even say like one word.
You needed to get the McMahons out there to get the pomp and circumstance. Stone Cold needed to come out and do his thing, but it was slow developing. It could have been.
See all the spots he missed, like when he was kicking them and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't practiced enough. It wasn't timed right. But it needed to be done.
But I mean, I thought overall, with all the publicity they were doing, I mean, I was even watching other shows, and they were promoting RAW25. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the guys in the Manhattan Center yelling bullshit.
Right.
I would 100% agree with them.
Especially considering how much money they paid to get into that Manhattan Center to get 2 matches, The Undertaker for 2.5 minutes, and the rest of just basically watching
and then you had the Balor Club squashing. And I like the Revival. How they squashed those guys.
They could have picked anybody else. They should have put Rhino and
Heath Slater.
And Heath Slater, have him come out there and do the job or whatever, but not the Revival.
I just think overall you had the Stone Cold segment, which I didn't like. He didn't even say one word. And it sort of set up the night for me when I was starting to watch it. I felt really bad for all the guys at the Manhattan Center. That was atrocious. I think that I would have been pissed if I paid that much money to go see them, and that was what was happening.
Well, rumor has it that afterwards they ended up sending Flair and The Miz over there to try to do some promotion and some meet and greet or whatever to get the people to calm down.
What happened? What was the deal with Undertaker's speech, and did you understand
Nobody,
it?
I don't know if anybody understood it. I think the announcers were trying to cover for what the speech was supposed to say.
The rumors are they're saying that he was caught off guard because the crowd was too small or something.
Well, a lot of people were disappointed because usually the best part of The Undertaker is the walk down the aisle.
And the lights were on.
And the lights were on, and the aisle is so small that in 25 steps he was already at the ring.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. Like he said, everyone's gonna rest, or everyone
rest in peace.
It's time for everyone else to rest in peace. It's like, hold on, dude, is that a retirement speech? Are you coming back?
Right.
Are you not? At first I thought, all right, cool, he's coming back, he's gonna set up for Cena, and it's starting now. But it's just like, I literally was watching that and I was like, I have no idea who was. I don't know who started that segment.
For the amount of time that they had to prep for Raw 25, it's beyond me how they can possibly put together that show. The writers say okay and have Vince give it its blessing and put that shit on TV.
Did you see the picture of King and
falling asleep?
Yeah, they both had him falling asleep.
Well, they said that they weren't falling asleep, but they were saying the way the monitors were placed, they were placed at below eye level. And they were
they had to look down. I can
to the
see
monitors,
that.
And they were saying that they never fell asleep, but that was the angle that the picture was taken of them
looking
looking
down.
down.
Lawler's head was back, like he was falling out.
Well, what else are they going to do? It was basically a closed circuit TV presentation from 1990.
They should have never done the two. They should have kept it at one. If they were trying to make the money and they wanted to do it at the Brooklyn Center, then they should have stayed at the Brooklyn Center, and they should have just get rid of the announce crew, put King and Ross in there, and then have them just announce the whole night, and then have everybody in one show.
But it's not that. It's the Monday before the Rumble. Let the matches happen at the Barclays Center, and then have USA or somebody give you a couple hours on Saturday.
Or another day.
Do something special at the Manhattan Center on another day, promote it.
Or on Friday maybe, because you had NXT.
Right. And let it play out that way. But this back and forth stuff was complete garbage.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I think that was a debacle, and I know listening to the Taz show a lot, as a go-home show, that was brutal. Right. As the last Raw going into Royal Rumble, that was just, I know they were trying to promote Raw in 25 years, but that was brutal.
They should have done it on another day.
The DX segment was bad.
Garbage.
Just all of it. Like I thought that I wish I never saw that when it was done.
The card game with everybody was not right. Inviting all they would have been better off just every half hour bringing out people on the stage like they did, announce them, let them get their applause, and just be done, and then have matches instead of doing what they did.
Yeah, I agree.
Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy had no interest in wrestling that match at the Manhattan Center.
All right, so since we're on that subject, because me and Bill were talking about this earlier, I guess we might as well just jump into it. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying that they're upset with the way they're handling the Woken / broken Matt Hardy character, with all the stuff that he at least did in Impact, which was good. But he, in my opinion, what I'm seeing is Bray Wyatt's beating him like every match. So his character's starting to become irrelevant, of like, why should I even watch this guy? He keeps yelling delete. And if you notice when they're doing the delete, not everyone's doing it like the yes chants.
Right.
So it's just like, hold on a second here. I'm like, something has to happen. And I know I don't know if they're not allowing him to do it creatively. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if they prematurely started it before that whole lawsuit thing finished and they allowed him to use all this stuff. But I was just like, and what did he do? Did he buy all of it?
They settled.
So
they made some kind of settlement.
So Vince owns that character now?
Or I think Matt Hardy might own it and then leasing it or licensing it to
Vince McMahon.
Because this is, in my opinion, Matt Hardy's not the same Matt Hardy that we saw not even 2 years ago.
Knees, yeah.
Right. The guy he walks worse than I do. Number two, this is just all a way for them to sell shirts. It has nothing to do with Matt Hardy, in my opinion. This is just another revenue stream that they can push a ton of woken, broken, whatever they want to call it, t-shirts out. So
I know that he keeps saying on his Twitter account that he's going to eventually keep putting, or he's going to bring Vanguard 1, Senor Benjamin, which we had to look up his name. I didn't know. I forgot it. That I guess they're bringing those guys aboard.
But to wrestle who? If he's not going to wrestle Bray Wyatt, which is the perfect.
It was perfect. And they should have done it longer.
Right. They should have let it go for a while.
Until Mania, I was thinking.
Even past it and just let it run its course. He's 0 for 3 or whatever he is. Now what good does that do? Bray Wyatt was already dead to begin with. He had been killed off. Now they give him a chance too with Matt Hardy. And again.
And I know going into the Rumble, when we were watching the Rumble, we talked about this earlier too, how they were starting to work together. I thought, oh, okay, cool. This might end up being something where Bray Wyatt gets sucked into the woken aspect of it. Or like when they were doing those promos, remember he kept saying, oh, I know you from the past or whatever. And I'm like, well, maybe they'll start teaming up together. Who knows? They might become tag teams and fight the bar and win. But I don't. And what's the time frame on Jeff Hardy coming back?
He's out for a while.
Because, I mean, eventually they're going to bring him back his brother Nero.
But again, it's not the same Hardys that the people expect. And they're going to get disappointed. You're not getting the Matt and Jeff Hardy of even 2 years ago. You watch them move in the ring, and it's very methodical and it's very slow. There's no pace at all.
Well,
when those guys
they always say it. They're not spot monkeys.
Right. Okay.
So,
but at least move around.
Yeah. What's up, Scotty? All right, so we'll see what happens with that. The good news is that they signed Jeremy Borash. I was a little shocked on how quick they did it because he was on Impact last week.
Right.
And then all of a sudden now they're like, all right, they signed him. So Jeremy Borash is now with the WWE. We were talking about that briefly and what we think he might end up doing. Well, one, I hope Vince McMahon and the creative team allow him, because if people don't remember or know, Jeremy Borash actually was, and Matt Hardy has said this, he's one of the top guys and creative minds behind the Broken Matt character. So him coming aboard, hopefully they allow Borash to work with Hardy so they can redo this whole thing in collaboration of the, what did they call it when they fought at his compound, the Hardy compound? Whatever the case was, it was pretty funny, but I hope they do it again. And I hope they allow him to do that. If not, we were talking about this, is Bill thinks that he's potentially going to go where? NXT?
I think NXT.
Announced team.
At least let him go there to figure out the WWE style of doing things, and then bring him back up maybe to SmackDown.
And then eventually I think I think we will see him on SmackDown too. Booker T's gone. Coach is back. I'm not too thrilled about that. I'm not a Coach fan. But now you've got Coach, Graves, and Cole. Remember when everyone hated Cole? And now we actually like him.
I don't.
He's the best announcer now.
I don't think so.
I like Cole. He's a good announcer now. But I remember before everyone was like, oh, man, this sucks. We don't like Cole.
Well, when you're used to having JR, everybody else
it's tough.
Fails miserably compared to him.
So you got that. And then on SmackDown, we would end up seeing, what was their name? I keep forgetting, the Tom Phillips guy.
Percy Watson?
No, not Percy Watson. Braxton. So you got Braxton, Phillips, and then it would probably be, what's his name? Borash. So it's good to see. Hopefully Borash does bring that, but it's good to see. I liked Borash in Impact. He never worked for Vince, did he?
No.
Yeah, so this is the first time he's working for Vince as well. So that's pretty cool, and I hope he does some good stuff with that as well too. By the way, guys, new set. I forgot to say that in the beginning. I hope you guys like it. Brick wall now, so at least there's a scene. We may be changing it up here and there and change different stuff in the background. We've got a new camera, which is a 1080p, so wider screen, better viewing. for you guys much cleaner as well too. So hopefully everyone likes it, and hopefully YouTube becomes a success for us. So we keep continuing with these. So in any case, on to then, and I'm not going to go into NXT because I want to talk about the signing of Ricochet, EC3, and War Machine. And what do you think about all three?
War Machine, good. Ricochet, they've got to let him do his thing. If they try to hold him back, it's going to be a waste. That's what I'm afraid of as well. And EC3 is EC3. He's the prototypical guy that the WWE wants, the body, the look, the whole thing. And he's just a regular worker, but I'd love to see Ricochet just let loose, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think they're going to let him go in NXT. Obviously, all three of them were there, so they're going to be in NXT. I think eventually Ricochet is going to go to 205 Live, which is a shame.
Which is a waste.
And I think they're going to end up putting him probably as the champion. I mean, and what's happening with the whole Enzo More thing?
He's never going to see the light.
What's going to happen to the title?
Tournament. The standard fare of the WWE. They're going to have a tournament, maybe culminate at WrestleMania.
Yeah, possible. But I mean, who knows? Maybe Ricochet will jump that fast into 205, give him the strap. But I hope they don't bury him on there. He deserves a spot on the main roster.
He should stay at NXT for a while though, to let him
learn it, build up the fans.
He goes to the main roster right away. He's going to be the second match of the night and never go anywhere from there.
War Machine, I think, will be fine. Even if you bring them up into the main roster, I think they'll be good there. EC3, people forget he was with WWE before. He was at NXT a long time ago. They left because they let him go, or they let him go, so he left, ended up fighting independent, and then ended up going to Impact, and that's where he made a name for himself in Impact. So he did pretty well. I mean, I'm an Impact, I wouldn't say fan, but I watch them. He did pretty well for himself in Impact.
No doubt.
And I think that's one of the main reasons they brought him aboard. There's rumors out there that Dixie Carter may be coming to the WWE.
Way. Come on.
I don't know, like an Eric Bischoff role. And you never know, they might end up, because she's playing it on Twitter, even though they're not.
That's her nephew.
It's her nephew still. So, I mean, that's just out there. I don't know if that'll happen. He's done it with Eric Bischoff. I would not rule that out. That eventually you see
not at the caliber of Eric Bischoff, first of all.
But there was a tweet that EC3 put out there, something about Rick Rude. So it sounds like he's trying to emulate Rick Rude, or he's going to try to be someone like him. And we'll see what happens with that. But I'm interested. I think EC3 will do good in the main roster too.
If anybody comes up first, I think it's War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine first.
They're ready, and they would fit best to come into that tag team division.
Yeah, hands down. I think that, and they'll do good. They'll make a big impact. What happened to Sanity?
It's not it's their turn on the script to be the next page.
Like but are they really going to get put to the main roster?
No.
So it's like, I like UI.
So do I.
He's a great he cuts promos very well.
And he's a good worker.
He's good in the ring. I don't know, man. I liked them, but I'm just worried that now even NXT is bringing himself. And here's my other question that I have for NXT. Now that NXT's got so many people, and they're bringing them up all the time, and they're signing so many people, I know you got two brands, but dude, when is it going to come time? It's like they got to fire a lot of people too now.
I think that they should just keep NXT as a legitimate brand.
Third brand.
As a third brand, because for the most part, anybody that comes up to Raw or SmackDown to die, except Shinsuke Nakamura and somebody like, look what happened to Bayley. There was nobody hotter than Bayley in NXT. Now she's just an afterthought. It happens all the time with those people. They're better served staying down there and just make. And they're saying with Bayley, brand.
They say that Vince McMahon gave up on her.
Yeah. How? Like, why did he give up though? When in NXT it was nonstop Bayley, and even when Bayley first came up. And that's perfect for what Vince wants. Somebody to play into the little girl thing.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, I think that, and that's a very touchy subject on if we really, or if people take NXT as a minor league versus not a minor league and a third brand. So we were talking about this, I think, via text with Ono. I mean, I don't think Cassius Ono, that match with the Velveteen Dream, I thought he wasn't giving it his. He was just lazy in the whole match.
But that's been his criticism forever. That's why he got let go the first time. Same thing. I mean, at least pretend like you're trying to get into some semblance of shape or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, not even the shape thing, but try. It looked like he wasn't trying. And to me, it's just like, I don't know. He's someone that I hope I never see on the main roster, and I hope he stays at NXT. But if that's the case, then it's not a minor league. Then you're signing veterans, just like you were saying, so that they can help the younger guys out with timing.
Yeah, they're going to teach with timing. They're going to teach with ring positioning. Remember, when you're in the WWE, it's not just working the match. You've got to know where you have to be, because where the cameras are, where everything is positioned, so you can probably, correctly put up a match.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, let's go over the NXT card, see what your thoughts are on each match, what's going to happen in the future and all that stuff. So NXT Philly, what did you think overall?
I think it was great. I think out of anything we've seen in the last 2 months, I think that has to be placed at the top.
So if you had to grade it, A, B, C, D, F.
B+.
Okay.
I'll give it a B+.
I give it, I think, like a B, a mid B. And I know we're going to differ on opinions here on a couple of things. But so the first match was AOP versus Fish and O'Reilly.
I think it was a good match because of the way it was set up. The two big monsters against the two smaller guys. The announcers actually did a good job of making sure that we knew that Fish and O'Reilly were trained MMA guys, and everything that they were doing was to try to chop them down, get them to come down to the mat. And then, of course, the Authors of Pain were doing what they're supposed to do, which is just launch people all over the ring.
So what do you give it? I gave it a C.
I'll give it a B because of the good confrontation of the monsters against the little guys.
All right. So here's my next question for you. What happens to AOP next? They had the titles. They dropped them. Are they going to get pushed up?
No. They're not ready. To do what? Go against the Bludgeon Brothers?
I would like that's that's going to be one of those gimmicks of like, dude, why did we even create this?
Exactly.
The Bludgeon, that's funny.
Just leave them there. They'll be fine.
What I wouldn't, now that we were talking about War Machine, I would not mind watching AOP and War Machine.
Fair enough.
That would be a great match, actually. Mm-hmm. So I guess AOP can stay. They'll have some good things, but they might have to extend their pay-per-views. Are their pay-per-views 2 or 3 hours? 2. They might have to extend their pay-per-views to 3 then.
No, because you lose a lot of the.
No, because then you can put the guys like Sanity on there, and like the guys who didn't get their chance and stuff. So, all right. Anyways, second match, and I'm a fan of this guy's Velveteen Dream. His match, and I know Alistair makes it. Him and Alistair match on the next, or Alistair Black on the A+.
Yep.
That was an amazing match. And for a guy he's a tough enough guy.
Correct.
For Velveteen Dream to do that, I know the character's weird, but for that was an amazing match. One of the best matches I've seen all year. And now he fought Ono, and I literally gave it a D because of Ono.
I agree.
And I don't think it was Velveteen's fault. I think he was really trying. It just seemed like Ono wasn't trying, which made the match
terrible.
Yeah, and I just didn't like it. But I'm a huge fan of this guy's. I hope I see him on the main roster eventually. I hope they don't do him wrong like Adam Rose
or Fandango.
Yeah, because it seems like that's like the road he's going down. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens with that. But I gave it a D, the match. What do you think you gave it?
Nothing.
You're not even
no score.
No contest.
No score.
All right. The third one was the women's match, I believe. That was actually pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was all Ember Moon.
Yes.
And she's a great women's wrestler, but I don't know if she's going to make it on the main roster, man.
No.
She's one of those other ones where I think she'll be fine, but stay in NXT. And here's the problem. I don't think some of these guys want to stay in NXT. So eventually you're going to have wrestlers like Ember Moon who are not getting promoted. And then they're just going to be like, well, screw it. I'm leaving. I'm going to indie scene again.
Or do they get called up, fail, get released, and then go to the indie scene and at least get a paycheck out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I know AJ Styles said in the past that he makes more money in the indie scene. I mean, not now with WWE, right, but before with TNA when they were offering him that contract, and I don't doubt him. He probably was.
And Cody Rhodes just said the same thing. He goes, "I've made more money this year than I ever have."
And Cody is making a name for himself, man. How about New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Fantastic.
Yeah, and how they just, and I just saw, because he just said it, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now the Bullet Club just apparently
breaking up.
Cody's saying he's not, but did you see the last one?
Yep.
Where Kenny Omega was trying to jump out, and Cody stopped him and ends up hitting him. So
then he shoved the Young Bucks out of the way.
Yeah,
was apologetic.
And Kenny Omega's rated, I think, he's number 2, I think.
I'd put him number 1 right now.
And I like his style, how he's saying he doesn't want to come here because remember he wasn't really bashing him, but he's like, look what they did to Shinsuke Nakamura. What has he accomplished so far in the WWE? Why would I leave to get buried like him? And then he turns around and wins the Rumble.
But if you look at Kenny Omega, he kind of did a lot of that to himself too by wrestling a lot of those stupid gimmick matches where he wrestled that 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
He wrestled a blow-up doll one time just for the hell of it. So that's going to be the mark against him. But you pull up Kenny Omega and watch him in New Japan, watch him fight Okada or anybody else, even the big wrestling, whatever you want to call them, the magazine writers and the guy, that rate matches, Meltzer and all them. He's 4 out of the top 10 matches in the last 4 years, I think it was, or 3 years, have involved Kenny Omega.
I don't know. Do you think he has a place in the WWE?
No.
I don't think so
either. He should never come there because he will be a mid-carder within
the only reason I think he should come, and actually, do you think Cody should come back?
No. Why should he?
So how are you what's going to happen with this whole Balor Club thing?
It's inevitable, just like the NWO, just like everything else. They're going to break up, do a faction, whatever they need to do.
You think they're going to get more people aboard? Because eventually AJ Styles.
But it has to run its course, right? You have to let it run its course.
Yeah, I mean, and if that happens, then do you bring Cody and Kenny and all those guys aboard?
They won't come back. There's no reason for them to come back.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? Run the angle for a little bit. The angle's going to run its course. They're going to do the inevitable breakup again, right? And then what?
Who knows? I don't know. I just think that they dropped the ball big time on that whole Balor Club thing.
Yeah,
and they could have done
should
it
have been done from
ago.
the beginning.
They could have done it with AJ right away from the beginning, and they didn't. And I know Vince is more of I don't want to use other people's type of stuff, and I think Triple H is swaying him more into doing the whole Balor Club thing and all this and signing all these other guys from outside.
Right, but it's too late. If they would have done it at the beginning with AJ and Finn Balor, the breakup then leads to more matches. You get AJ against Balor.
How about that Kenny Omega Jericho match?
Fantastic.
Did you see it?
Yes.
I loved that whole card. I actually liked. That was Wrestle Kingdom 12.
January 4th, I believe it was.
So a cool shout out was that I posted something on Twitter and I had both Kenny Omega and Jericho retweet and respond to me.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty cool. But that was one of the best matches I've seen. And that Okada kid, I like him a lot too. And again, I would love to see him in the WWE, but I just think that you've got so many wrestlers in the WWE right now that I think you get buried. So some of these wrestlers have to start making that decision of should I come or should I not come, and am I going to get buried or not? So
not only that, you have the style of wrestling in New Japan does not coincide with the way they wrestle in the WWE. So the Okadas and a lot of those guys do not. Look at even Jay White now. He's the one that beat Kenny Omega for the belt in New Japan.
And I like Jay White.
Yeah.
I got a question I want to ask you at the end. I just wrote it down. If you guys got questions too, obviously pop it in. I'll tell you guys if we're going to end up talking about it or not. And then we can go from there. But let's continue on with NXT. So the women's match, you said what?
I'll give it a C.
I gave it a B minus, actually. So I liked it. It was pretty good. Now, the good stuff. I think the next two matches, unless am I missing a match? The next one was Aleister Black and Adam Cole.
Yep.
A, if not A plus.
Yep, correct. Agreed.
And Aleister, here's the other question again. Aleister Black on the main roster.
If they do it right, but then who are you going to do it against?
And who would he go up against?
Right, that's what
he would be someone that would be nice to fight with Bray.
Right.
But his style, I think, won't be good with Bray. He's an AJ style guy.
Right. Bray cannot hang with Aleister Black.
I love Aleister Black. I love his intro, that ring music he has. The way he comes up like the dead person, like the Undertaker. Awesome. I love the way the guy wrestles. Honestly, that was an amazing match. Probably the best match on the card. both of them. You got to give credit to Adam Cole too, though. Like he did a huge. I mean, that was an awesome. But again, that gives credit to ROH too. So I mean, for people who don't watch ROH, I watch it. All their fights are like that, and or all their matches are like that, and I love ROH for that. And it's cool that at least Triple H is trying to give these guys a chance, and they're bringing them over so that we can see matches like that. So you made an interesting point as well too when we were talking about NXT and how you liked it, Bill, and you said that it was good to see finally that we've got 2 full hours of wrestling and not like 30 minutes of someone chit-chatting and 30 minutes of doing that or not. So, and I agree with that. That was really good that that was happening, and it's good to see that Triple H is setting it up for that aspect as well too. But anyways, Aleister Black, Adam Cole, do you want to say anything else about those guys?
No.
Gargano and our buddy Cien Almas. That I give it an A too.
Yes.
And Almas is shocking me.
He's from where he came from. He's always been a good wrestler. The only part of that whole match that I didn't like was I'm not a big fan. I told Nick this earlier of people kicking out of the guy's finisher more than once or twice. You guys watched that match. Each guy executed their finisher, I think at least 5 times. 4 out of the 5 times there was a kick out, which, you know, the finisher, if you hit the finisher the first time the guy kicks out, camera zooms in on you, you've got that look on your face. I can't believe what just happened. If you're going to hit the guy with the finisher the second time, the match should be over. Otherwise, it discredits the finisher.
So,
but Gargano looking like he had a concussion, was fantastic.
Gargano sells, and he sells good, dude. Again, he's another guy that I don't think would be good on the main roster.
No,
he'd be buried. But I would love to see him and AJ. People that I want to see AJ wrestle, and I'm so glad that they, in the beginning when AJ first came, and I'm talking about this because we weren't doing podcasts at the time, but when AJ came back and he appeared on the Rumble, I was sort of upset because I was thinking, man, they're doing this guy wrong. He's like potentially one of the best wrestlers in the world, and they're turning around and they're just putting him in the Rumble, and he got beat at the Rumble. But I'm so glad to see that they put the title on him twice, I think now.
Twice.
He's the current champion right now. And I like that. And there's so many people. But here's the thing that scares me. How old is he?
37.
Yeah. And he's up there, man. So, I mean, I'm shocked that he can do what he can do at his age. But I'm worried that it's going to get to the point where we're going to see him wrestling guys where we wish we wrestled when he was younger.
Well, that's always been the biggest, you know, disapproval of a lot of this, is that the WWE brings in the wrestlers after their peak.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
AJ Styles is 40.
He's 40. Jesus. And he's wrestling like that? That is awesome.
Yep.
I did not know that. I thought he was like 36, 37.
So did I, but I just looked. He's 40 years old.
Great. I mean, in my opinion, probably the top wrestler right now. Even I think better than Kenny Omega and stuff.
1, 2, arguably you can flip-flop him and nobody would.
I wish he would have came, man, back in when he was wrestling in TNA.
Okay.
But whatever. Can't change that. All right. And then obviously we're talking about Gargano. I loved the ending with Ciampa. And that's I want to see them go at it. That's going to be a good match.
Right.
Gargano Ciampa is going to be a good match. I just love the way they're setting it up. And then we'll go from there. Scotty, what is the average age of a WWE champion?
You can go from Randy Orton at what, 24?
Yeah, it varies. But normally they've been older because they've established themselves first in wrestling. Then they got to that point. I would say average age of a champion roughly is about 35.
Maybe a little bit less, I would say.
But as of recently, like Bill said, you do have guys like a Randy Orton. Even Cena, I think, won it younger. He was in his late 20s.
The youngest ever was Orton.
24.
Right, 24. Cena. Lesnar won it the first
he
time
was young too, yeah.
He was young.
Yeah, so it's all over the board, but roughly in wrestling normally, because it takes a while to build you up to a main event status. Usually it takes a little more than a couple years to get you there. So it's usually in your 30s normally. But again, it's all about ratings, Scotty. It's if I put the belt on you, if you draw me ratings, then I'm going to keep the belt on you. If you're not giving me ratings, I'm taking it from you, and that's it. And just like they did to Jinder.
Right.
Don't mess with Jinder.
Right. But unfortunately, that's what it's become. It's not who who the fans want. It's who's selling the most shirts and who can do all the extra promotional stuff for the WWE.
Yeah. So like Jinder, they gave it to him and he deserved it. I mean, he put in his time, but they put it in because they were launching the network in India.
And they did the tour.
Yeah. So they needed a champion that was as of Indian descent so they can promote the brand. And obviously, who else better than to put the strap on Jinder Mahal, then go over to India, have the tour, and then bust out the network in India. Don't forget, doesn't India have the most population now over China?
Yes.
So that's another reason, and that's why he had the strap. So,
and it was their way of offering a little bit of shock value.
Yeah, when we were kids, Hogan had the title, and the reason Hogan had the title is because he put butt in seats. He sold more merchandise, and he just sold out arenas, and it put money in the pocket for Vince and promoters.
But don't forget, too, at that time, you got paid based on attendance. So all the wrestlers, there was no such thing as a guaranteed contract back then.
Yeah, like they do now.
That. So you got paid by the house. So you have a card, and you get 7,000 people into that arena at $12 back then. You got a share of that money. So those people worked their asses off to make sure that they got people to show up for these matches.
So overall, you said you gave it a B?
Which?
The card, NXT TakeOver?
I'll give it a B.
All right. So overall, I think I give it around the same, about a B. I think it was a great card, something great to look forward to the Rumble. And I actually was excited about the Rumble. But then the whole, so then let's dig into the Rumble. And I remember I was texting you that day. So the first match, so I'm old school. So I remember the titles always being at the end. And even I can agree with the Rumble being the end, which they did. I think it was the Women's Rumble. The
Women's Rumble finishes. They had to do it that way to bring out Rousey.
All right. So they had the guy, and I agree with that. The women, that's fine. The guy Rumble, then next was the Girl Rumble, right?
No, there was a match.
Or there was a match in between.
Wasn't there a match in between?
Was it the Bar Rollins?
The tag match.
So it was the Bar versus Rollins and Jordan.
Right.
How do you intro? So this is my opinion. How do you intro with AJ Styles? Like the first match, in my opinion, should have been Usos versus Gable and Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
The second match should have been the Bar, Rollins, Jordan. Third match should have been, I guess at that point, AJ match. Then the Lesnar match with the three guys.
Then the two Rumbles.
Then the men's Rumble, women's Rumble. So, like, why would you start with AJ first? That's what really boggled my mind. And I was starting to think about it, and we were talking about that. It's like maybe because in the old days when I used to watch some pay-per-views, I never watched the beginnings.
Right.
I would always say, I just want to see the later matches because those are the better ones. So you would just not watch the first hour, then catch the last 2 hours. And maybe Vince is doing this so that people can stay tuned in all the time because you never know. Because in all honesty, you don't know the way the card's going to be played nowadays. They tell you the matches, but they don't tell you the order the matches are going to be in.
But you can't, no matter what, you can't put the championship match first. Come on.
I think he's, in a way, dropping the title down, too, by doing that.
Unless it's punishment for Kevin Owens probably doing something stupid again.
I don't think he does anything stupid. Like a lot of the stuff that goes out that says it's stupid, it's all a work. All right, again, like I used to always say in my other podcasts, guys, I am a firm believer that 99.9% of anything that happens in wrestling is a work.
Agreed.
So even in Triple H, I think Triple H, Stephanie, and maybe Shane, in a way, have finally got Vince McMahon to understand, listen, we can't create things anymore, so we have to use the internet and these beat writers to create angles. So when you hear things and stuff, kayfabe's done. So these guys are using the internet in a way to build their angles. So even when you guys hear like, oh man, did you guys hear from this small guy? He just posted that this guy did this and that. It's all a work. He's been paid by the WWE to do that, and it started the angle out.
Right, but what has anybody ever done that's made you say, holy shit, I got to turn on the TV to see what's going to happen? Even those guys, nothing.
A lot, but I can't remember right now. But there's a couple things. All right, so the biggest one that came in mind, but this was on television, but this is old times, the Montreal Screwjob. And
I'm talking about
to this
recently.
day, that's work.
I'm talking about recently.
All right, but can you agree with me that that's a work?
I would say yes.
That's a 100% work. I don't care what people say. Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Bret Hart are taking this to their grave. This is 100% work, all 100% work.
Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman.
Work.
They admitted it at the end.
I mean, come on. It's like it's great acting and it was awesome, but it's all a work. I'm trying to think as of recently.
Tell me anything recently. Sami Zayn do something on Europe, they get sent home on a plane. Big deal.
That was a work.
Big deal.
Yeah, but everyone was starting to go, oh man, look at you know what I mean? And that was a work. It's just like, guys, it's a work. Stop. Like,
although the only good part about the last 2 weeks is that Enzo's gone.
Hold on. I'm starting to think that might be a work too. I'm 50-50 on that right now. I'm 50-50. And they're saying that that girl that did that also did a fake pregnancy against someone.
Well, so
either this girl's doing him wrong.
I can't stand that guy.
I think that was all a work though. That's a good one. The one that they kicked him off the bus and that he can't dress in that was all a work to beef up his persona of he's being cocky and he's like a Hollywood star. That was all a work. And everyone just, it's like, you can't, no one would kick someone out of the locker room.
But if there was anybody that I would hope was true, it would be him, because I can't stand him.
He was a YouTube star. That's how he got in. You know that?
He's a shit wrestler. and that's the reason
great mic
why
worker.
I don't care. That's the reason why a lot of the people like us who love wrestling cannot stand what's being put on TV right now. Because if you can talk and you can't do shit in the ring, somehow you get 11 to 12 minutes of airtime. Whereas you have somebody like Dolph Ziggler sitting around and they look to him and go, sorry, dude, we got nothing for you right now. Explain that to me. I want anybody out there to explain to me how this is even possible.
All right. Now that Scott sent that question through, do you think the CM Punk pipe bomb was a work?
No.
That was a work.
I mean, it was a work. I'm sorry. It was a work.
I'm like, all that was a work. All of it was a work. Man.
You don't get out through that curtain and do something that's
unless you can do both.
Right.
Good wrestler, being a good wrestler won't put you out anymore over there. So.
Right. That's the thing. If you can talk, you get, like I said, 10 to 11 minutes on USA Network.
Did you hear, now that you're saying that, because I thought of Chris Benoit right away, because he was never good on the microphone, but he was a great wrestler. Did you hear that Chris Jericho is doing a memorial match for him, and he's doing it outside of the WWE because obviously Vince doesn't do anything?
No.
So he's doing something in Japan concerning Chris Jericho and the memory of Chris Jericho and stuff, which is cool because they were close friends back in the day and stuff. If I see that too, I'll tweet it out again. I had it somewhere.
Oh, and before I forget, did you see that Cody and the Young Bucks are trying to put together a big super card?
Where, here in the States?
There's down to the locations. It looks like it might be done in Chicago.
For who, though? For
their own.
It's not like ROH or anything?
Nobody sponsored.
And why'd they pick Chicago?
They're down to like 4 or 5 cities, and they're trying to pin where they're going to do it.
Are the Young Bucks from here?
No, I don't think so.
I thought the Young Bucks were.
No.
Yeah, if they came here, I would actually go see it. We'll all be over there.
They're trying to fill a 10,000 seat arena, they said.
Oh.
All funded with their own money.
What's in Dunning that's that big?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that big there. They might not be able to do that. Who was it that's coming to the United Center now? Raw. No, it wasn't Raw. It was a live
house show.
Live.
House show.
Yeah, for the follow up to WrestleMania. All right. Anyways, Royal Rumble overall show. What do you give it?
C.
Yeah, about AJ match.
Only because it's AJ, I'll give it a B, and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I give it a B too. I don't like Sami Zayn. I'm not a huge fan of him. Usos, Benjamin Gable.
Who cares?
Yeah, I honestly, I think I ate dinner at the time, so I was watching it from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see the replay of it. I gave it like a D plus.
Yeah, it wasn't a good match.
Lesnar, Kane, Strowman. D.
Okay, I'll go with
I gave it a D.
Right.
There's not much you can do with Lesnar. I know he's huge. I know he's a beast. This is what worries me, and we were talking about this. How can they continue to keep having Strowman lose? And they make him to be such a beast. He can pick up a semi-trailer. He can flip a stage. He does all these things, but he never could beat Brock Lesnar.
Well, most of the time, it's Kane that's involved. That's getting
the rough end of it.
Right, the rough. So basically, it's, hey, Braun, we're going to teach you how to work a big man match. Here's Kane to teach you the ropes. And oh, by the way, Brock Lesnar is going to beat the shit out of you and stiff you half the time.
Did you see the video where he really hit him?
Well, yeah, Braun got him first.
Yeah.
And so Brock Lesnar walloped him.
That was real, too. That was a good shot. But anyways, bar Rollins, Jordan, obviously that set up the WrestleMania match for Rollins and Jordan.
Which leads me to another thing. You have Seth Rollins and look at where you position him right now.
He's mid-card tag team champ.
I understand Dean Ambrose got hurt and that ruined some of their plans, but come on, you guys.
Yeah, you put Rollins in the middle.
You put Rollins right there to do what? Nothing. To sell, to do a 10-minute sell job.
And he's the guy who used to be the champion, and an injury took him out, and now he's in the bottom.
Right.
Just like Finn Balor. He was a Universal champion. He's on the bottom again.
Right.
I gave that match like a C, to be honest, C- on it. All right. Rumble match. I wanted actually Dolph to win it, and he didn't. He came in, I got shocked. I was like, oh, here we go. But it ended up becoming Nakamura, which I'm happy about for Nakamura. And then I was glad at the end they did that whole thing, and then he announced that it's going to be AJ Styles. That's going to be a great match. I love it. And I'll be interested in watching that. And that's I don't know if it's going to be the main event, but
it won't be the main event.
It's good to see that. So I'm happy that happened. I did not like how they had Cena and Reigns working together a little bit in there. That was sort of dumb. I was like, come on, man. I'm like, it was like the two old guys versus the two young guys, and Reigns isn't even that old.
Right. But it was the Rumble was a little bit slow inside the ring. It was very slow.
And then I liked the women's Rumble was actually pretty good.
It was legit.
And with that, Asuka won it. But who did they answer even?
No.
Like, who's going to come out? Who's she going to fight?
That she hasn't announced it yet, and that's what I think the problem was. You diluted the fact that Asuka won by throwing Ronda Rousey into it,
and that's the big thing. So Ronda Rousey ends up getting signed by the WWE. I thought it was a part-time contract, and then reading into it later as it broke through all the outlets, I'm pretty shocked that she signed a full-time, and what was it, 5-year? Or 3?
3-year, I thought.
A 3-year full-time contract, which means that she's going to be on every, and I'm assuming she's going to be on Raw. I mean, we don't know yet, Raw or SmackDown, but she's going to be every week on TV. She's going to be at the whatever brand pay-per-views. So she's full-time, and I was pretty impressed by that. I did hear she's been training with Brock Lesnar a lot in the ring. And I think it was, believe it or not, Roman Reigns that's been helping her a little bit and stuff. But overall, I don't know. Like, what do you? That was really Rowdy Piper's jacket too.
Correct, given to her by his son, by Roddy's son.
Yeah. So there's video out there if you guys go to WWE.com where Colton, I forgot Piper's last name, but Colton is his son's name, and they were taking pictures. And Colton gave Rousey Piper's old jacket, and she wore it in as she walked in. She took pictures with it, and then she gave it back to Colton. So that really was, because I know it was too big. And then at first I was like, wait a minute, that might be Piper's jacket. I'm like, I think that's really his jacket. And it ended up being his jacket. But she's full-time. I just, what are you going to do? Because when she walked in the ring, she looked at Flair. And then she actually didn't even pay attention to Alexa Bliss.
Right.
So that's what sort of made me think like, okay, maybe she's not going to go on a Raw. Or maybe she's going to go after Flair, but then she went after Asuka, then Asuka slapped her hand away.
But then what do you do for WrestleMania now? What do you do? Rock and Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie, right? And somehow that match is going to get pushed to the main event or the card before, right?
Well, Ronda Rousey, because she's such a big name and she may be the biggest name in Mania, is going to have to be one of the later matches. But I mean, currently right now, and that's the next thing we're going to go into, obviously, since we're doing this. So I wanted to go over like WrestleMania predictions of what we think. So we already know AJ and Nakamura is going to be one of the matches. Do you really think Undertaker Cena?
Probably.
I think so
too. We
talked
about this last week, that we think that maybe that's the official last hurrah.
So on Raw, Cena won to go into the Elimination Chamber. I have a feeling that they might potentially do something where the Undertaker gongs or something at the pay-per-view against Cena on something to set that up. I don't know. Or they might just do it on a Raw, maybe on one Raw.
But we have to decide first who's Lesnar going to fight.
Why, you think he's actually going to? Okay.
I think it's Reigns for some reason. Not that I want to see it, but I have a funny feeling that it's going to be.
So who's in the Elimination Chamber right now?
Elias.
WWE stands for
Walk with Elias.
I love that guy.
Cena.
So you got, hold on, you got Elias, Cena.
Who won the other match?
Wasn't it Strowman?
Oh, was it?
I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, Strowman Kane.
Oh, yeah.
How many people are in?
6 total.
All right, so are they going to be doing, are they going to, is this just Raw exclusive?
Yeah. So there's another set of matches next Monday.
Lesnar's got to be involved in this match too, though, right?
No, it's the winner of the Elimination Chamber fights Lesnar at Mania.
Oh, so that's how they're going to do it.
Right.
They announced that?
Mm-hmm. I thought they did.
All right, so
Reigns gets in.
Yeah, you're going to have to get Reigns in. I mean, who else are you going to throw?
Do you put Kane in there?
I hope not. I mean, you can't. Strowman just beat him too. Do you do maybe The Miz?
Okay.
And that's my other question. When are they going to put the strap on The Miz again?
You got it.
No, the heavyweight strap.
Oh, never.
Like that guy is.
He's the most valuable person
on that whole roster.
On the roster right now is The Miz.
Yep. I mean,
say what you want
Mike
about
work, wrestling wise, I know people hated him before. I know people said that he only did what he did because he was in the movies and stuff. That guy is the most versatile, most valuable guy on that entire roster.
Correct.
And for them not to put the strap on him, and even if you don't put him as a babyface, put the strap on the guy, man. Like he does so. I loved when he berated Daniel Bryan, and then he started doing that on Talking Smack afterwards. Yeah.
But his mic work is always spot on.
Yeah.
Everybody says always too
Another
safe.
question here. You think they will give Rousey her own little corner like Roddy Piper's pit angle?
She can't talk.
Yeah, she can't. She couldn't even talk on the pay-per-view. At Rumble, all she really did is she was in there and she started pointing at the WrestleMania sign. So her mic work. Oh, and she did interviews, I think, with Sports Illustrated and ESPN afterwards.
The fact, right.
And they were horrible. So I think they won't put her in any type of promo work yet. Unless she gets better as the years go on. So, in my opinion, UFC fighters really don't have that entertainment value besides just fighting, but they can't speak. And we can see that with Lesnar. That's why he's got Paul Heyman there.
But to their credit, they've always put him with the best talkers in the business to make them, even more legit.
More relevant and stuff. So, all right. So I don't know. Anyways, Miz, I just hope they do something more with the Miz than just the IC strap. So you're looking at Elias, Cena, Strowman, Reigns. So at the end of the day, I don't think Cena's going to win. It makes no sense to have a Cena Lesnar.
No.
So Cena ain't going to do it. They ain't going to put Elias with Lesnar at WrestleMania. I think it might be Strowman.
Okay.
But then what do? Do you finally give Strowman the belt? That's the only way you would do that.
But I don't think Strowman is ready.
Or are you going to have Lesnar Strowman fight at Elimination Chamber? Since Lesnar won't be in the chamber.
No.
And then have another DQ again where they just beat the hell out of each other.
I wouldn't imagine that Lesnar signed on for that many pay-per-views to begin with.
I don't know. I agree. It's either going to be Reigns or Strowman that's going to be, I guess, versus Lesnar. So let's go Reigns or Strowman. That's our pick there. We don't know just yet.
And what does The Miz do then at WrestleMania? Fight the U.S. champ?
Can they do that?
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Or is Miz maybe going to go at it with Elias? No. I mean, there's still a lot of loopholes in there, like tag team wise. So Rollins, Jordan, you think?
They'll be broken up by then.
But you think that's going to be the match for Mania?
Better not be.
All right, so you want to go another way with Rollins then, potentially.
Right. Let him fight The Miz. It'll be a better match.
If you put Reigns with Lesnar, what if they do Reigns, Strowman, Lesnar? We already saw that.
Yeah, I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, so Lesnar's a question mark right now. Rollins, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen to The Miz. Who are you going to do with Asuka? Asuka versus Rousey?
No way. Can't happen.
I think Flair Rousey is a better
correct
appeal. So if that's the case, then she goes to SmackDown.
There's no appeal for Alexa Bliss.
And then who's it going to be? Asuka versus Alexa Bliss?
No, it's Asuka Charlotte Flair. Rousey's not going to fight in a singles match at WrestleMania. There's no way that happens. So, I'm telling you, it's going to be Rock and Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie. That's my prediction.
Rock and Rousey
against Triple H and Stephanie to rehash what happened at the Mania
Do you
prior.
think Rock is free?
For the money, he is.
Is he not filming anything?
If he's not, if for the money, he's available.
So basically, the only 2 matches we have right now is AJ Shinsuke and then Taker and Cena ?
Right.
Everything else right now is basically up in the air. So you think it's going to be Asuka Flair, but Asuka's on Raw.
But she gets to pick who she wants to fight.
Oh, remember, you're right. She didn't announce that last match.
After WrestleMania, then they set up for the redraft or whatever they do, the brand draft, so they can do some maneuvering.
So then she picks Flair. So she wrestles Flair. They probably give the title to Asuka.
Have to give it to Asuka.
And then Flair will probably end up going back on Raw, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Then Asuka probably stays on
SmackDown. Then you set up Raw Alexa Bliss, maybe, if you want. You've got a million things you can do.
Yeah, probably. I just hope they start putting or fixing the cheese holes so we can start figuring out this roster and going from there. But, all right, did they figure anything out with Elimination Chamber matches yet or no? So that's still whatever.
Yes, they got
SmackDown's currently going right now, too.
After next Monday, they'll know the other 3 people will be in.
Oh, they got Fastlane too before Mania.
Yeah, Elimination Chambers for Raw. Fastlane is for SmackDown.
All right, so SmackDown right now, since we're doing this live, Rusev won a fatal 4-way match to earn a United States title match against Bobby Roode next week. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to battle next Tuesday for the right to challenge the WWE champion AJ Styles at Fastlane.
Right.
So it's going to be Kevin Owens. So they might have got they went at it today, maybe.
Or somebody, maybe the general manager said that that's the only way this is happening. No more 3 ways.
Maybe. All right. So what else do we got? We already talked about the Bullet Club and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Anything else hot going on in New Japan that we need to talk about?
No, the biggest angle was the
Bullet Club.
Whole Bullet Club imploding.
My last question I have is, why in the hell is Jay Lethal not coming over here? I agree with that. The Rock and Rousey versus Stephanie and Triple H. I can see that. I didn't think about that.
I've listened to Jim Cornette a couple times talk about him, and I think that probably his reputation is preceding him.
But what does he have bad in his reputation?
I think the way he negotiated from jumping from Ring of Honor to TNA when he went. I think if you listen to Jim Cornette talk about
he's back in our...
And now he's back. So he was welcomed back, but I think a lot of people... And I think he's on the older side, right?
He is. He's got to be close to AJ's age.
Yeah, and he's a Shelton Benjamin clone.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do
But he does a good Ric Flair impersonation.
Yeah.
If you guys ever have a chance, that's actually pretty good to look at. If you can look at old TNA stuff with Ric Flair impersonations. All right, what else do we got here? Lethal, nothing. New Japan Pro Wrestling, nothing's really going on with that. What else do we got? Do you got anything, Wild Bill?
No, not at all.
I don't even know how long we've been running for here.
Just my utter disappointment for wrestling over the last year.
It has been pretty bad, but I think we have to realize too that there's a creative team now that's behind everything, and
I don't buy that. I think that no matter what creative comes up with, I think at the end of the day, it's got to pass through the hands of Vince.
Yeah, and he's got to prove it or not.
And he's got to prove it, and I'm still of the opinion that it's his way is still 1990 flipping semi-trucks and stuff like that.
So here's a good question I had, and I forgot to write this down, but do you think the XFL is going to succeed second time around?
Yes.
So this is what I think is happening right now. I think eventually, because it's 2020, I think eventually he's going to pull himself away from wrestling a little bit. And that's why I think Shane came back as well. So he's going to have Shane running like SmackDown, Stephanie, and doing all that stuff. He's got Triple H doing NXT. I think he's going to walk away, and he's going to focus on starting NXT. So I think that overall, we'll see what happens, but I think it'll be a success as well too. I just don't know. I don't know how. My opinion is I think wrestling will get better with him going away.
But you got to put people in place that are wrestling people, not TV show writers. I mean,
yeah, but Triple H is one of those guys.
Right. But again, every chance he gets, he thrusts himself into the spotlight. And
Triple
H does. And I'm pretty sure that everybody is sick of it, that every time something big needs to happen, his stupid face has to be put on TV to get the attention. And if he's so much into promoting these guys and let's do this and let's let the new guard take over, then why is it that every WrestleMania, every time something big needs to happen, he's back in the ring?
Yeah.
For what reason? There's no reason for him to do it.
Ratings?
But no. Would you watch it? Is there anything that says to you, holy shit, I got to get to WrestleMania to watch Triple H do and fill in the blank? Tell me anything right now that would make you watch.
We won't, because we're the hardcore fans.
He did Sting wrong.
But we're the hardcore fans and we won't watch it. But I think 90% of the other fans would watch it.
Okay.
CM Punk, do you think he's ever coming back? Or do you think he's done?
Well, I say no. I think he's just too damn stubborn
to even say I'll
come back. Right.
Even especially now with Triple H being in the homes as well too.
Right.
Because I think his bigger issue, I think, was with Triple H.
That was the whole thing. Why should he have? I think it all stemmed from why should he wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
He wanted to be the main event. He wanted The Undertaker. He wanted Cena, whatever the case might have been. And from what you read and what you hear, now you never know if it's true or not, but Triple H basically responded to CM Punk by saying, hey, you're wrestling me. That's your WrestleMania moment or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that's why he got mad.
Right,
too.
And he got pissed off. And I don't blame him. And there's nothing, like I said before, there's nothing about Triple H that's going to make you say, I need to see this match right now.
Yeah,
and there's very few matches that you would say right now that other than Shinsuke and AJ right now. That's a match that people are going to say, yes, I want to see that match.
Yep. All right. So what do you got? Anything else to close?
That's it.
Nothing else? All right. So this is, again, guys, episode 24. We're glad to be back. This is WTR. We'll be back again. We'll try to do weekly. I'll try to do weekly. I can actually record some of these solo, and then we can do bi-weekly with Bill and the Mouth, and then we can go from there. Again, I want to make sure that everyone follows us on our Facebook page at Windy City One Word Sports Network. I want to make sure that our Twitter account everyone knows, which is at WCSN312. YouTube channel is right here, Windy City Sports Network. Subscribe to the channel, please. Also, look at us on iTunes. Subscribe, rate us, give us 5 stars. Click the subscribe button. Spread the word. Get us out there. Scotty, I'm watching Goldberg on Flash. Yeah, you told me that he was on Flash on an email or something. That's pretty much everything I got. You're good, Bill?
I'm good. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, top guys out. Revival.